Nurses at private hospitals across the city are demanding more pay and zero changes to their benefits. And if they don't get it, they say they won't work. News 12's Caitlin Ulrich tells us more on the New York State Nurses Association's plan to strike and why one New York City nurse says change is needed.
We swear an oath to take care of these patients.
Ari Moma.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
He is a nurse in Bed-Stuy.
I'm sorry. You know, it's well good to take care of these patients. And it's like you can't care for them anymore.
Ari, a board member of NYSNA, says staffing was tough in the pandemic years. And he says he can take better care of patients now because there are more nurses. But he says they're not nurses living in the area. They're travel nurses brought in from other states to help with staffing shortages.
Thank you.
But he thinks conditions, pay, and more need to improve for nurses to stay and build a career in the community.
Nurses, united! We'll never be defeated!
He is one of 17,000 nurses across 12 private hospitals in the city voting to strike. According to members of NYSNA, nursing contracts for these hospitals will expire December 31st, and they're negotiating for new contracts that include more pay, no cuts to benefits, and a 1-to-1 nurse-to-patient ratio. They say if these demands are not met, they're prepared to walk.
But they need to come to the table and bargain in good faith and give us a fair contract.
Nurses at Bronx Care, Montefiore, Mount Sinai, Morningside and West, New York Presbyterian, and Richmond University Medical Center completed the vote to strike today. We reached out to each of those hospitals and received statements from some saying things like, quote, "We have been actively engaged with our nurses during this contract negotiations," unquote, and, quote, "Our nurses are the backbone," unquote, to the hospitals, and that they, quote, "remain committed to reaching an agreement," unquote. Ari says the stress of the pandemic stays with him.
I'm dreaming of moving bodies.
But he will continue to fight for what he needs.
So this is not the time for me to quit. This is not the time for me to quit.
To do the job.
The only time I will quit if I close my eyes.
That he loves. For News 12, Caitlin Ulrich.
We have taken care.
Caitlin, thank you. Now, to read the statements from each of the area hospitals in full, you can head on over to our website, news12.com.